The next leaf we're going to paint is a marigold leaf. And here is one that I got from the garden. And I'm going to just keep it on my paper as an example, and I'm going to look at it while I paint. Again, I'm not sketching out my design first. I often do, but for this one, I'm not going to. And I'm using a fairly concentrated amount of paint on a fine tipped brush. I'm starting with the center, and I painted that center line and then working on the top leaf. Well, there are many ways to paint veins on leaves, and this leaf has a fairly substantial vein, and the technique I'm using for this marigold is that I am painting around the vein and leaving the vein unpainted. So painting the leaf and leaving the vein white. And I'm just going to come down on the one side of this leaf. This leaf is made up of tinier little leaves. And so I'm going to paint all of these down the one side, and then we'll paint the next. I'm speeding up my video here, just painting up the shape using the brush to create the leaf shape, adding more paint, putting a hint of that spikiness that creates the shape of these tiny leaves. I'm not being very exact in terms of the number of those points. Here I'm adding more paint as I go, deepening that center line. Deepening that top leaf or leaflet. And this leaf is going to be fairly uniform in terms of color. Now I'm going to come in and paint the other side. Again, I'm avoiding the center to give that sense of the vein there. My paint is fairly dark, fairly concentrated. Again, I'm painting wet on dry, although the paint is not super wet. This is a little rough, a little whimsical. There are many ways you could paint this. Could add in different tones, make it a little less uniform. I'm making these shapes pretty playful. And just continuing down. So we have the basic shape here. I'm just going to refine, add a bit more paint, add a bit more color. Again, there are many ways you could do this. You could do it with multiple layers. I'm choosing just to keep it simple. One layer. And keeping it fairly dark. Adding a bit more here. A little bit more paint. A bit more along the center line. Deepening these leaves, and here is the finished